Hey everyone, welcome to the 41 Strong podcast. My name is Chuck Tate. Great to have you with us today. 41 Strong is a podcast that delivers encouraging scriptures and stories to help people like you hold on and stand strong. You may have heard it been said before, every name has a number, every number has a name, every name has a story, and every story matters to God. So today is episode 120. And I'm going to tell you how to share your story. Everybody has a story. Maybe you feel called by God to write. Maybe you enjoy it as a hobby, something that you've considered. One question that I get asked all the time is, how did you get published? So I thought today would be fun just to share some backstage secrets to publishing. I'm going to give you 5 today. You may have noticed we have the old-fashioned typewriter on the table. And man, I'm so glad we don't have to use that anymore. I mean, some people they prefer to use a typewriter. I mean, I'm a Mac guy. I'm a computer guy. I do everything on my computer. And I know freestyle writing is coming back, but not for me. I am going to always use my computer. So listen, before we get into some of these publishing secrets that I want to share with you today, I want to let you know about something. For those of you that have the Bible app YouVersion on your mobile device, on your phone, my official 41 Will Come reading plan went live about 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today. So I want to encourage you to add it to your reading list. All you need to do is open up your Bible app for YouVersion, click on plans, and then there's a little search icon. Click on that, type in 41, hit it, and 41 Will Come will pop up. It's a 7-day reading plan. I've already had more than 50 people go through it with me, and I've had a lot of people tell me they're already reading it. So I hope that you can take advantage and check it out yourself as well. Again, it's called 41 Will Come. Search it in YouVersion, add it to your reading plan, and then if you could, for those of you that have already read the reading plan and those of you that are going to read it, if you could take the time to give it that 5-star rating, that would help extend its reach as well. So thank you for being willing to do that. So, all right, well, let's get into our topic today. We're going to talk about secrets to really backstage pass to publishing. And here's what's cool about this podcast today. Back in 2013, that's when my real publishing journey began. I had a desire prior to then to get published. My book was 15 years in the making, but what kicked everything off, what inspired me, what challenged me, was a writers' conference that I attended called Rewrite Conference in Austin, Texas. The Fed agency, a literary agency, put this conference on. I went with my good friend Jim Powell. He's the one who invited me. I had never heard of it. I went, and it was there that I really learned about book proposals, and I learned some tips and secrets. So I was going through some of my notes, and my agent, her name is Esther Federkevich. She is one of the top Christian literary agents in the world. She's incredible, and I'm so blessed to have her represent me. And the reason she represents me is because I won a publishing contract back in 2015 at Rewrite Conference. But let's back up. 2013, my first experience when I even learned there was a contest. I learned so much. She delivered a talk, Backstage Pass to Agenting, and I kept all my notes. And really, this applies to publishing. So the things that I am going to share with you today come directly from one of the top agents in the world. Some of her clients are people you're familiar with, like Tim Tebow, Stephen Furtick, Judah Smith, Carlos Whitaker, Jensen Franklin, Proverbs 31 Ministries, Lisa Turkers, and the list goes on and on. Mark Batterson, she has had the opportunity to work with so many best-selling authors. So she has a unlimited resource of wisdom, a treasure trove of wisdom when it comes to getting published. And now I was going through these notes, and I've experienced all of this that I'm going to share with you. So I can back it up. So I thought I would just share it with you. So you can, for those of you that are on a publishing dream, you have a story in your heart that you feel that you want to share, and perhaps your dream is to get published. So I'm going to give you really 5 secrets, backstage pass to publishing. Here we go. Are you ready? Number one, to get published with a major publisher, you will need an agent. Okay, so you just can't call up a publishing company. You can't send your proposal to them. They're not going to look at it unless it's presented by a literary agent. All right, and one of the things that Esther shared in 2013 in this writers conference that I went to was your agent isn't a magician. All right, your agent will work hard to get you a deal. Your agent will negotiate the best deal possible. When I won my publishing contract with Tyndall House, my agent still negotiated the contract. I was guaranteed a contract, but she negotiated that. She negotiated my pay advance. That's where authors make money. It's all in the pay advance. It's not necessarily in the sales unless you are a New York Times bestseller. All right, the money to be made in publishing is in the pay advance, and your agent is the one who negotiates that deal. All right, your agent will update you on publisher responses. Your agent will coordinate your marketing plan. Your agent will advocate for your future success. That's what a literary agent does. The best way to get an agent is look at some of your favorite books that you've read and find out who the agent is of the author that you like. Get a list of different agents and determine which one you want to reach out to. The best thing to do is to write your book proposal and then try to get a referral to that agent to have him or her review your proposal, and then they will determine whether or not they want to represent you to actually pitch your proposal to a publisher. So we're kind of putting the cart in front of the horse. Really, you need to write your proposal first. And I know some of you have no idea what a proposal is, and I'm going to get to that. So just keep watching this podcast today. All right, but back to agenting. Your agent's not a magician. All right, you need an agent, but she's not a magician. These are some of the things that your agent cannot do for you. All right, your agent can't be your therapist. Your agent can't be at your beck and call. I've actually only talked to my agent since I won a publishing contract only a handful of times. I deal with an author relations person from her agency. I have talked with other people who work for her, but I only talk with her. I mean, it's been only a handful of times because she represents so many authors. So she's not at my beck and call. I'm not calling her and bugging her every 10 minutes. All right. Your agent cannot give you a play-by-play report. Your publisher will be able to help you with that. In fact, when I got published, my publisher, Tyndall House, sent me an author kit, and it was all the steps from 1 to 100, all the steps throughout my 12-month publishing journey. All right. Your agent cannot guarantee a bestseller. Your agent cannot be your financial planner. All right. But your agent is the one who's going to help you get a deal. You want to get a book deal? You got to find an agent. All right. You got to find somebody that you can connect with, that you can reach out to. You can establish some type of referral that you can send your book proposal to get them interested in you, because if they believe in what you've written, then they will want to represent you. They will want to step out and do everything they can to get you published because they will benefit from that. All right. So our first tip to backstage publishing, the first tip is you need an agent, right? That's just the bottom line. If you want to get now, you can self-publish without an agent. Anybody can self-publish. You can use Creative Space on Amazon. I mean, if you have a book idea, you can pay somebody to package it and edit it and put it together, and you can get it on Amazon. But if you want a real traditional publishing deal with a major publishing house, then you have to have an agent. All right, that's number one. All right, and you have to be willing to work hard. You got to be willing to pray. You got to be willing to stay focused. And I will say this too: find out what book you need to write. Don't come up with 10 of them. You find out the book that you know God wants you to publish, and you stick to that. and God will open up the right doors. All right. But if you don't even know, then it's going to be hard to get an agent to believe in you. You have to be confident in knowing this book has to get published. This is the book that God put in my heart. I'm passionate about it. I believe in it. I'm ready to tell the world about it. I have worked really hard. I have a plan. I have an idea. And you know what? Someone will get behind you with that. But if you're like, I really don't know. I love to write. I just want to be published. It's got to go beyond just wanting to be published. You got to know that you have a story to tell. All right? So really the second tip today, the second hint into the world of publishing, a backstage pass into publishing, if you will. Our second point today is this. Your writing career is not going to just blow up overnight. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to spend a lot of time. You're going to have to put forth a lot of effort. You're going to have to work hard. You are going to have to schedule your writing to get your proposal done, to finish your manuscript. Now, I also want to say, first comes the proposal, then comes the manuscript. Don't write your whole manuscript first. If you've already done that, fine. Your focus needs to be the proposal. And you won't find an agent if you don't have a proposal. You need to have that proposal, and that's going to take work. And if your excuse for not having a proposal is you're too busy, then you're not going to get published. We're all busy. The only way I finished my proposal was I had to start getting up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm a night guy. I like to stay up late. I like to sleep. I don't like to get up early, but I had to schedule writing. I had to get up. I had to set my alarm and get up at 4 o'clock, make coffee, have some devotions, and then I would pray and just start writing. That's the only way that I finished. That's the only way that I got my proposal done. And if I wouldn't have finished my proposal, I wouldn't have entered the contest. If I wouldn't have entered the contest, I wouldn't have won a publishing deal. If I wouldn't have won a publishing deal, I wouldn't have had an agent to represent me, and I would not have been able to get 41 Will Come to the world. I'd probably still be working on it. I had to force myself. I had to schedule it. So you got to work hard. Your writing career doesn't happen overnight. So here are a few tips again from Esther, my agent, from a talk she delivered in 2013 that still applies today in 2019. She says, get the concept right. And that's something that I had to do. I had to get my concept right. I knew it was right. I went to that writer's contest or that writer's conference knowing I am going to write a book called 41 Will Come. That was what was in my heart. That was my dream. That's what I was pursuing. I didn't have 10 things that I was looking at. I knew which book I was supposed to write. And maybe today that's what you need to hear. You just got to find one. What are you supposed to publish? What is God wanting you to write to help others? Are you willing to share that story? It shouldn't be 10 things. It should be one thing. Find out what that is, all right? You got to get the concept right. That's vital. You need to make your proposal tight, all right? So I'm going to get to what a proposal is here in a few moments. You need to practice an elevator pitch. Let me back up to 2013 when I went to this conference and I heard Esther give this talk and I typed out all these notes that I'm sharing with you. I had already practiced an elevator pitch. I knew I was writing 41 Will Come. I knew I needed to write a proposal for that. I knew at that conference I was going to enter the contest. At that conference I was going to enter the contest the next time around they did it. I had practiced and rehearsed sharing my concept in 60 seconds. It was my elevator pitch. What's 41? What does that mean? In the Bible, 40 represents a season of waiting. It represents a season of trial. But 41 is the day that delivers a breakthrough, a second chance, a new beginning. For example, it rained 40 days, 40 nights. 41 came, the rain stopped. Moses committed murder, hid on the backside of a desert for 40 years. 41 came. Moses received a second chance when he was commissioned by God to be the rescuer of Israel. Goliath challenged Israel 40 days. 41 came, and David slew Goliath. My book, 41 Will Come, is a message of hope. Whether you're in a downpour, wandering in a wilderness, or staring at a giant that stands between you and your dream come true, the message of 41 Will Come is don't quit, because 41 will come. I had that down. It was a part of me. So here's what happened. After her talk, the next day before the conference is over, I just walked up to her and I said, can I have 60 seconds to share my concept? I wanted some feedback from her. And she stopped what she was doing. She looked at me and she folded her arms and she said, go. And guess what? I was ready because I had already rehearsed it. You got to pitch for accuracy. Make your proposal tight, but know your elevator pitch, right? You need to know the vision of your book, and you need to be able to communicate that vision with anyone who asks. So tell me about your book idea. You got to be ready to go, all right? Practice that. Write it down. Know it. You need to be able to identify your audience. And if your answer is my book's for everyone, then guess what? That's not going to fly. If your agent asks you who's your audience, if a publisher asks you who's your audience and you say everyone, you have to know your demographic. You need to know exactly who your book is for, all right? That could be a whole nother podcast, identifying who your audience is, all right? Follow Chad R. Allen on Twitter, and he'll give you some great resources about that, okay? Because you need to be able to reach your readers. All right, let's. We're kind of running out of time here. Backstage to Publishing, our first point today. Our first tip is you need an agent. Our second point is this: your writing career does not happen overnight. You've got to put forth the effort. You've got to put forth the work. You need to have a plan of action. You need to have a vision. You need to be able to communicate that vision. You need to write that vision down. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 1 through 3 says, write your vision down. Make it plain so you can run with it, so you can glance at it and you can keep running with it. And though it might take a while, don't quit, because eventually it will happen, all right? That's the world of publishing. It's a journey. All right, it's not this, hey, I want to publish, I'm going to, get an agent tomorrow, I'm going to get a book deal next week, and I'm going to get published, and my book's coming out, in a few months. That's just not going to happen. It's going to take time, all right? So I'm not trying to discourage you, but you need to know going into it, you're in for the long haul. All right, number 3, our third point to getting published, a little tip, backstage pass to publishing is this: being published is not going to make you rich and famous, and if your goal is to be rich and famous, then you need to figure out something else, all right? I've already mentioned authors make their money in the pay advance, not necessarily the book sales, unless you're a New York Times best-selling author, and the percentage out of all published authors to make that New York Times best-selling list is very, very minute. That can't be your goal. Your goal cannot be to be rich and famous, or just your bottom line, I'm going to be a bestseller. Your goal needs to be to help people, to get your story to the masses so God can use it to minister to hearts, to touch people, to help people. We write to be read, but we write so we can help people. The message of 41 will come. It's a message of hope to help people. So at the end of the day, we all want to sell a lot of books, but our goal, our driving force can't be to be rich and famous, or you will not make it, all right? So the average pay advance is only $2,500, just so you know that. That's the average pay advance. That may have gone up since 2013, but as of 2013, the average pay advance is only $2,500. And the average book sales, I have this written down, was only $500 for a published author, and that's mind-blowing to me, because when you take a look at all the published authors out there, if you self-publish, it's about 100 to 150 books. And I've heard it said that a first-time no-name author, the average lifespan of the book is only 2,500 books. So praise the Lord, I have been blessed to surpass that, but it has been a lot of work. And we could probably spend more time talking just about that, but we don't have time. We're going to keep this rolling. The fourth point, the fourth tip to help you is your proposal is the key to your success. Your proposal is your chance to be in the room with an acquisitions editor of a major publishing house. So you only get that one shot, so that proposal has to be tight. It has to be right. And because I'm kind of running out of time, if you don't know what a proposal is, I encourage you to go to bookproposalacademy.com. bookproposalacademy.com. This is an incredible resource. I'm an alum of Book Proposal Academy. I went through it with my good friend Chad Allen. He helped me draft a winning proposal that got the attention of a publisher. He will show you how to do it. If you follow him, if you go to his website, chadrallen.com, it is filled with resources and writing tips and proposal tips. Take advantage. Go to that website. Check it out. It's chadrallen.com. All right. Your proposal really is the key to getting an agent. Your proposal is your key. You can't get a publishing contract without that proposal. And once you get the attention of an agent, that agent will shop that proposal. And a proposal is just 1 to 2 chapters of your book. And then you need to list a summary of all your chapter titles, a marketing strategy, something called a comparative landscape, where you list 3 books that you've read that are similar to the one that you're writing, and you have to share what separates yours, what makes yours different, not necessarily better, but what separates your book, the one you're writing, than the other 3 that are similar. So there's a lot of work involved. A proposal is not something that you can just throw together in a couple of days. It's going to take some time. So if you need to learn more about that, again, go to bookproposalacademy.com. All right, let's move on. Our 5th point, because we are out of time. We're talking about Backstage to Publishing, giving you 5 secrets, 5 tips that will help you get published. Our 5th and last point today is this. Getting a yes means hearing a lot of no's. All right, so you just got used to, get used to hearing no, but don't let that detour you. Don't let that stop you. You may not know this, and I'm not going to get into a theological debate, but the book, The Shack, was actually self-published first, and then it went crazy, and the author landed a publishing contract. You may not know this, but C.S. Lewis was told no time and time and time again, and now he's one of the best, most well-known Christian authors of all time. So you will hear no. Don't let that stop you from sharing your story with the world. At the end of the day, if you can't land a publishing contract, you can self-publish. And if you pursue that correctly and you put everything into it and you promote it, God can still use that to launch a writing career for yourself. And that could get the attention of an agent or a publisher. And then, there are self-publishers that have their book republished with a major publisher. So don't let hearing no stop you from fulfilling your dream of publishing a book. Even the second book that I'm working on, I actually pitched 5 ideas to the agency that represents me, and a team looked at it, and we felt like we had the one. And then when I went and actually met with my agent and her team, within a few minutes, she threw it out. And we're like, nope, that's not it. So I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to just, pray and find out what's my next book. And now I got it, and I'm working on it. So you're going to hear no at times. You just got to keep moving forward. All right, and then one final word as we wrap this up. To get published, you need these 3 things, and you will hear, if you ever go to a writer's conference, you are going to hear this over and over and over again. My agent, Esther Fedorkevich, has preached it. Book Proposal Academy founder, Chad Allen, former acquisitions editor for Baker Publishing, he preaches this. You will hear this, and maybe you've already heard it. You need 3 things to get published. Number 1, you need to have a killer idea. Number 2, you need to be a great writer. And number 3, you need to have a great platform. Those are 3 things you need to get published. You can get published with 2 out of the 3, but that's getting more and more difficult as Amazon is putting out more and more books. So if you're a great writer and you have a great concept and you have a small platform, you can still get published, but it's going to be challenging. So we could probably do an entire podcast on building your platform. Michael Hyatt is a great resource for that. But if you have a desire to get published with a major publisher, you need to build an email list. You need to build your social media following. You definitely need to connect, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. You have to have some type of platform. You need to be blogging, whatever it can to extend your reach, because your publisher, if you are able to get a publisher to look at your book proposal, one of the things that they're going to want to know is how big is your reach. All right? Don't let it discourage you if you don't have a large platform. You can work on that. You can build that. At the end of the day, it's not about building yourself up. It is about building a tribe so you can reach the masses with your story so you can help a multitude of people. All right, now I know this was a whole bunch packed into like 22 minutes. So we might have to do another one and unpack this further. And I'm going to try to even get some other guests on the podcast to share their wisdom with you as well. So every number has a name. Every name has a story. Every story matters to God. That means your story matters. So whether you publish with a major publisher or you self-publisher, the bottom line is this: if you have a story to share, share it. All right? There you have it. That's a wrap. Episode 120 is in the can. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. For more information, you can go to my website, chucketate.com. And at the beginning of the show, I mentioned we have the 41 Will Come reading plan on YouVersion. I hope you're willing to subscribe to that and check that out as well. All right. For our producer, Mike Sable, I'm Chuck Tate. We'll see you next week on 41 Strong.
PeoriaLife.com